Good morning and welcome to another edition of Roadhouse Live. We are live. Today is December 19th, 2023. Bender, how's it going, man?
We have mere days left until the
Mere,
big event.
mere,
Mere days.
mere. It's such an interesting word, mere.
Yeah.
Kind of
I
like
don't know why I pulled that
smidge,
word out. I don't know.
mere,
Uh
smidge.
Today's a good day. I know I haven't talked about it a whole lot, like what's going on out at the property, being out here. Um but you've heard me complain about the ground and the rock, and anytime we try to dig a hole or, you know, put up a fence or anything like that. Well, septic. Septic turns out is we've had we've had two different people come out to dig a hole and install a septic system, and the first one I basically fired. The second one gave up. As of last night, I have septic finally, so which is good because all the trailers that we're living in, it's like, okay, everything's like full. Everything is really close to getting to be where we're gonna have to go to a hotel or something, or just start dragging trailers someplace. Like it was, I I was like, I don't know what we're gonna do. This is not gonna be a good time. We
Well,
had,
congratulations. Even though you have
yeah,
septic, still know that we know that you're full of shit. Just
no,
know
I'll take a
this.
picture. Well, no, it's empty now, so I'm not. You could have said that yesterday.
Well, I'm sure there'll be many more opportunities. Well, good deal, man. Happy for you.
Yeah.
So, this day, this move continues it to be a grinder. I don't have a whole lot of news. Building permits came in the way everything. The data this morning came in the way it was supposed to. Um, if it is lagging, it's certainly lagging. All the bad data that's going to take us to the bottom. If it is lagging, it continues to lag. So there's that. Bank of Japan, maintain their policy, even though there's grumblings that they're going to go ahead and get off of this negative rate. I don't know if it happens. I don't know if it doesn't happen, but they're in no hurry to appease anybody other than themselves. So we have that. We're up, I would say, somewhat nicely this morning. It's like it's not a bad up, not a bad up, not bad up at all. If you've noticed, we've had several pretty steep little drawdowns intraday. They get bought back up immediately. I will say that the buyback immediately is getting a little bit more lethargic in nature. But we had some good flow yesterday. We had some Apple put writing yesterday. We had a lot of stuff that you know, relatively speaking, would lead one to believe that we continue to kind of march higher in through here until we don't. And I think with being on the verge of having a close over ATH on the Nasdaq, I think that that's something that happens before we get the big pull. Whenever that happens, going to be aware, going to watch. But everybody loves that they like to be able to go on the news and say, "Hey, all-time highs on the Nasdaq." They did it with the Dow. They're going to do it with the Nasdaq. They're going to do it with the S&P. The only one that the odds of them not doing it is the Russell, which continued yesterday to kind of lag the overall move, even though when it looked for a second, it was going to try to play catch up. It kind of said, well, maybe not so much. Maybe not so much. So as we come into today, Bender, it's like these levels, they're fairly self-explanatory. We got highs up there, and we got some gaps down there. In between all that, we trade in through here. That's all I got. That's all I got.
I mean, that's pretty accurate. That's pretty good. I I think our work here is done.
Yeah, for the most part, I think that just let the flow be the guide and kind of go from there. It's like it continues. I continue to be amazed at the perma bear that is really aggressively trying to come up with every reason in the world why this rally is bogus. Instead of kind of reflecting back and saying, well, being down at 3,800, That's what was fucking bogus, considering where we're sitting now, and the reasons why we're sitting here now, and the reasons we were sitting there then. That shit was bogus, not this. So Perma Bear, if you're listening, eat a dick. Benda,
Eat a dick.
in charge.
Yeah. All right. Let's look at the SPX real quick. Just because there's the whole adjusted contract, non-adjusted basis on the ES, and I want to point out that if you're looking at this adjusted for rollover, it makes it look like we're quite a bit further from ATH than what we actually are, right? Because adjusted shows 50, 32, 25 being this high back here. So if we go to SPX, okay, we're currently sitting 47, 40, 57, ATH 48, 23.89. So got about another 80 points to go for the cash price to close or hit ATH. If I go back to the ES and I go to change that to non-adjusted. So what it looks like here, let's see, do I have that? Yep. Okay, so 48, what do we got? 4809.75 or something like that. Zoom this in. Yeah, something like that. Right up around that 4810, 4810 area. I know I sound like a broken record, but there isn't a whole lot to stop us or to stand in the way when you're looking at this daily chart. It's like there was this last daily fair value gap here. Well, that's been filled. And we're there. I mean, we're 10 points away. So if I zoom in, let's go like this. And okay, so this was that parallel channel that we were looking at. This was the triangle we were looking at yesterday. And you can see once it broke above that triangle, gave a little bit more, still sitting inside of this parallel channel. You got the midpoint of that channel up here, 48.25 ish, 48.30, depending on when it hits that. So keep an eye on the midpoint of that channel, see if you get any kind of reaction. Looking at the 15-minute, on a pullback, you got this midpoint 47.96, so just under 4,800, and then you could see stops sitting in there, in here around 47.92, and then the big ones down here 47.87.75. Again, 15-minute candle in here, 15-minute fair value gap, came back down in, filled it. Now, what stands out to me right here is this volume imbalance that held as support right in here. So I think, on a pull, you watch this 47.94 half, 47.92, but the big one, being down here 87.75. If it comes down here and it takes that out and it doesn't recover pretty quickly, this area in here becomes resistance. Oh, then you could see at a minimum that would put you below the bottom of this channel. And then you could see 71, because there isn't a whole lot in between. I think it's funny to talk about taking out levels below, because this, right now, the market hasn't had really any interest in providing a whole lot to the downside. There's been some opportunities in there. This will, eventually shift, and we'll take some of this stuff out. But until it shifts, the direction is up, and we're sniffing ATH. So, it's hard to imagine that we're not going to go get it, being that close. There's not, I don't think I have much else. Hells, like you said, charts are pretty self-explanatory. Everything is set up, and we're almost there. We're almost home, almost the end of the year.
Yeah, no, it's
Santa
like
Claus rally is here.
yeah. Just to
Not
be
much
clear,
else.
the charts are self-explanatory, and unless you're looking for a place to just lay in absolutely short.
Right. No, there's no. It has not provided
Because it's like,
anything like
and I
that.
look, it can change intraday to day, right? It's
Of
like
course.
we can, that can change, everything will change, but it's like the three things that matter: chart, flow, narrative, right?
Yep.
Chart, what are you going to say? It's extended and frothy. Okay, neat. Um, neat. What happened? It's like I don't even know what to say about that. Flow continues to be bullish. Narrative. You now have Fed speakers coming out and basically saying 3 rate cuts next year. They're actually verbalizing that out of their mouths.
Yeah.
So if the rule is number one rule is don't fight the Fed, isn't that the number one rule in the market? Like more so than anything else, don't fight the Fed. Isn't that the rule?
I think that's a big one.
Okay, so it's like, and data is not cracking.
Well, I think the next story that we're going to hear about is how historically, when the Fed reverses course and starts lowering rates after consecutive raises, that the time period following those cuts not good for the economy, I guess, or something.
But
Not good
because
for the market.
historically you cut rates in a bad economic environment. So
And that, yep,
historically, you can take your history and shove it up your ass unless you have
yeah.
context to go with it.
I
Just
don't. I'm just
not
telling you
you,
what they're going to
not
start
you,
talking about. I'm just talking about what they're
yeah.
going to start talking about.
But it's like
Bears.
historically,
That's what they're
yeah,
going to talk about.
yeah,
That's what we're going to
yeah.
hear.
Historically,
Yeah. All right. Well,
yeah.
that's about
So
all I got. I mean,
Bender,
keep an eye on
this
this
is
channel.
I'm out of here by 11. You're going to be available, correct?
I doubt it. Not much. It's Christmas. Y'all go have Christmas.
Okay.
Spend time with your
All right. Very good.
families.
Stonks, what you got, buddy?
I guess it sounds like it's me. This is all you get today, guys. I hope you're ready.
They're ready.
It's going to be great. All right. We'll do sunny stuff. We'll try to share a chart, but we'll do the news first. Let's see. Google's going to pay $700 million in an antitrust settlement. BlackRock updates spot Bitcoin ETF proposal to allow cash redemptions. KView is up. They had a favorable, that's the baby Tylenol. They got a good ruling in their case. Let's see, Boeing says the Lufthansa Group is going to buy 100 737 Maxes. And then what else do we have? BP is going to pause Red Sea shipments. We talked a little bit about a headline. They were doing some naval defense, the U.S. naval defense over in the Red Sea that created a pop and drop on gold. And let's see, we've got some upgrades, downgrades. Uber upgrade, Costco upgrade. That was a big dark pool last night. If you like to trade Costco, we also saw flow that may or may not have been a Twitter pump, I think. Jeffries is bullish on Chewy, and FSLR price target downgrade. There was also some sketchy accounting news on Sun Power Energy yesterday. That whole solar sector is just a hot pile of trash, it sounds like. All right, let's get into some charts. We have We did. Let's see. So that was yesterday's close, which does appear to be the prior day's high, above the prior day's high. So we'd have a smash day to the downside. We had talked about this being the last smash day to the downside. Larry would have caught a little piece there. I have the alert set above. This level would be the stop out from that previous short. So we'll get that alert. And then we've also got now an alert on yesterday's low, which would still be a smash day to the downside. I'll update the cues, but we can jump over here to the Russell. The Russell, let's see. So yesterday, the Russell was playing this stop you out and bounce game. They had this big spike up, and then they stopped, took that guy's stop. They took that guy's stop, did a little bounce. Then they took everyone's stop again, and now we're running back up. So I'm just going to move this here. This is the last guy's stops. This line above I have marked up off this potentially a bearish order block, Mr. T style, a bear who wanted to get in cheaper. This does appear to be an important level at the moment, so we've got that above to get through. And then if we zoom out, this is we can jump over to the weekly, this trend line that we are up against. We'll see if we can get up and through that. And then we have this little blue box here, a little hourly gap on this pop here pre-market. And then this, if we lose this fair value gap, stop this guy out, then we've got the top of this. This is weekly fair value gap in orange that we did get these candles closing above, which, if we start pushing down into here, I'd be interested to see if we have support down here at 1978. So we'll see what we get over on the Russell. For a little bit, I was thinking maybe we had a, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, but it's starting not to look so much like that. We're just kind of maybe even consolidating in another bull pennant. This has kind of been the theme with the Russell the past few weeks. Consolidate, pop, consolidate, pop. So maybe we're going to do it again. So we'll see what we get over here on the Russell. Jump over to the NASDAQ. NASDAQ, very similar. We were playing the stop you out game. And so they took this guy's stops just by a bit. They took this guy's stop just by a little bit. And then on the 4 hour, we left this blue box, this fair value gap here below. I've got marked up the high. So if we need to take out bear stops, that's going to be, they did that here. This bear got stopped out. So now the next one would be right up there, 16,989.25. Below, we've been looking at this fib, which is sorry, jumping around a lot. We got this low to this high, gave us the fib here that has been in play. So if we pull back into this fair value gap, also going to keep an eye on this 16,902.50, and then we've got this trend line here. So if we give that up, maybe we'll be looking at shorts, and then we've got some stops sitting here, small daily fair value gap down here. So we'll see what we get. Let's see. AMD was a daily inside bar. We'll take a look at that real quick here. They hit it with a small dark pool last night, 138.89. So we got that marked on the chart. Below, I'm going to be watching 137.15, and above we've got 140.2. So we'll see what we get over here. Just kind of consolidating after a nice run. Other than that, I would be calling some levels in the room on Tesla and doing some flow. A little Roadhouse party. That's it.
Roadhouse party.
All right, Stonks. Thank you. All the way around. All right. Market opens in about 18 minutes. 18 minutes. Let's have a good day. Let's close this year out right. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks, fellas.
All right. See ya.